Welcome to the Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service Board meeting for Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. First item is our roll call. We do have quorum. One member is absent with notice at a conference, and then anticipating that Peter is just running late due to weather. Should be here shortly. Item number 2 is the approval of today's agenda. One little thing I was going to add into it is that after the presentations, we'll just take a 15-minute recess for pictures and whatnot, and then we can allow the gallery to clear out if they so desire. So we have a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda. Moved by Member Brennan, seconded by Member Hahn. All in favor? Perfect. Moving on, number 3, declaration of pecuniary interest, if there is any. It's here. Nope, none. Moving forward. Number 4 is a reading, correction, or approval of the minutes. 2 minutes, general meeting minutes, December 16th, 2025, and then the special meeting minutes of January 8th, 2026. We have a mover and a seconder to approve those. Moved by Member Brennan, seconded by Member Hahn. All in favor? Perfect, moving right along. Number 5, seeing as this is the first meeting of the new year, we need to elect a chair and a vice chair. So there's a recommendation that the nominations for the role of chair be open, if anybody would like to make a nomination for this year's chair. Member Brennan?
I nominate Matt Hall.
Much seconded by Member Hahn?
Yes.
Seconded, okay. I will accept that nomination, thank you very much. We do the vote first, because that's voting after.
Sorry?
Oh, I guess there's only one nomination, so it's
There's chair and vice chair.
okay, then we'll move on to nominations for the role of vice chair for the Strathroy Police Services Board.
Point of order, should we vote on, you accepted the nomination, should we vote on it?
Oh, sorry, yes, I guess we'll, vote on the nominations. All in favor of? Perfect, carried. Thank you very much. Yes, good sense. Moving on, nominations for the role of vice chair for Strathroy-Caradoc Police Services Board. I myself would like to nominate Member Brennan for vice chair. We have a seconder for that. Seconded by Member Hahn. Sorry, comment?
I wanted to inquire, knowing that this year there's elections, and does that preclude anyone from being elected as vice chair?
I do not believe so, as the elections will not take in effect until the new year. Is that correct?
Yes, so the elections will take place in October. Inaugural meeting will be mid-November. So these appointments will go until the end of the election term.
Thank you.
So for nominations for vice chair was seconded. All in favor of Member Brennan for vice chair? Carried.
And by the way, I accept the nomination.
This only happens once a year, so I'm out of practice. So. Okay, fantastic. Moving right along. I will pass it over to the chief and deputy chief for our presentation of badges and awards. And like I said, we'll have a 15-minute recess after. Chief?
All right, well, first of all, thanks everyone for carving out time on a Tuesday morning to come and join us for a really special meeting and celebration and ceremony. Secondly, I want to also wish everyone well in sort of learning a civics lesson while you're here. You get to sort of see how a board meeting operates, much like a council meeting, so you're sort of winning on both ends here today. So. Both myself and Deputy Chief Cushman, these are great events to help celebrate our membership, along with the support obviously we get from our Police Services Board. For those sitting in the audience, we report to a Police Service Board that is made up of elected officials, provincial appointees, and a community member. And so that's who we, as a police organization, report to and get governance from. So it's always awesome how they help us celebrate not only the arrival of new members to our organization, but also help us celebrate milestones And you'll see in our presentations here today, we have 2 members who are receiving their 20-year exemplary service bars as well. This is sort of unique. Our 4 new officers, I use that term loosely. Some have been with us 3 or 4 months, others a little bit less time than that. But it's great that we were able to coordinate and do this as one event to, again, have as much of our family and friends join us. I will say this to those sitting in the audience. We appreciate what you have done to prepare your son, daughter, in-law, whatever the relationship is, in preparing them to be able to serve not only this community but this region in a very difficult and challenging profession. We also realize that we are sharing that person as part of our police family, but as also part of your own families as well. And our number one priority as an organization, and certainly under the governance of our board, is to ensure their personal well-being and their long-term health as they navigate a very challenging profession. And you have our utmost word that we will always be looking after our members to ensure that they are healthy, that they are able to perform the difficult task of policing in the current landscape, so that when they come home, they are the same and as healthy of a person for their own personal and well-being as well. So I want to make sure that you, as family members and friends, understand the importance that we have as an organization and as a community. So with that, I will turn it over to the deputy, and I'll let him call up the first officer for the badge presentation.
Constable Lauren Gossel. Yeah, it's front and center. So it's a pleasure to present Constable Lauren Gossel to the board for presentation of her constable badge. Constable Lauren Gossel is joined here today by her mom Catherine, stepdad Craig, dad John, and stepmom Katina, and brothers Ryan and Will. Constable Gossel began her employment with the Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service as a communicator on August 28th, 2023. She transitioned to a cadet on August 9th of 2025. She then attended the basic constable training program at the Ontario Police College between September 11th and December 18th of 2025. She was sworn in as a constable on December 29th of 2025. We are excited to have Lauren and her family continue as part of our SCPS family in this new role. On behalf of the Police Service Board, the Police Service members, and our community members, welcome to Strathroy-Caradoc.
Thank you.
Sorry, for anyone in the audience, certainly step forward if you want to grab some pictures. That you're more than welcome. You'll probably get a picture of it after somebody's
Constable Brianne Baker. It is a pleasure to present Constable Brianne Baker to the board for presentation of her constable badge. Constable Brianne Baker has ties to the community through sports and is joined here today by her mom, Jody. Constable Baker began her employment with the Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service as a cadet on April the 7th of 2025. She completed the basic constable program at the Ontario Police College between June the 12th and September 18th of 2025. She was sworn in as a constable on September 19th, 2025. We are excited to have Brianne and her family join our SCPS family. On behalf of the Police Service Board, police service members, and our community members, welcome to Strathroy-Caradoc.
There we go. Go ahead. You take your spices away.
I will add one additional thing. A week ago Sunday, our police team took on the Junior B Rockets, and Brienne stepped in for the third period and is an elite level goalie and slammed the doors shut. He just did himself. That's all.
Constable Aiden Burns. It is a pleasure to present Constable Aiden Burns to the board for presentation of his constable badge. Constable Aiden Burns has ties to the community and is joined here today by his mom Deborah, grandmother Carol, fiance Adia, and her mother Jen. Constable Burns began his employment with the Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service as a cadet on March the 10th, 2025. He completed the basic constable program at the Ontario Police College between March 14th and June 20th, 2025. He was sworn in as a constable on June 27th, 2025. We're excited to have Aiden and his family join our SCPS family. On behalf of the Police Services Board, the police service members, and our community members, welcome to Strathroy-Caradoc. Okay, at this time I'll call up retired Deputy Chief Paul Landers. And his son, Constable Ben Landers. It is a pleasure to present Constable Ben Landers to the board for presentation of his constable badge. Constable Ben Landers is local to the community and is joined here today by his dad, retired Deputy Chief Paul Landers, and his partner Emma. Constable Landers began his employment with the Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service as a cadet on March the 10th of 2025. He completed the basic constable program at the Ontario Police College between March 14th and June 20th, 2025. He was then sworn in as a constable on June 27th of 2025. We're excited to have Ben and his family remain with the SCPS family. On behalf of the Police Service Board, police service members, and our community members, welcome to Strathroy-Caradoc.
Thanks, Deputy. So the next part of the presentation is for the 20-year Police Exemplary Service Bar. This is a recognition by the province of Ontario for a police member who, after their 20th year of exemplary service, is awarded this medal. It sits, they wear it in their dress uniform. It's the blue and yellow bar here. to again recognize their dedication to the policing profession. We have two members, Sergeant Chris Haskett and Acting Sergeant Joel Pinkham, who I'll be giving presentations to today. I'll ask first Sergeant Chris Haskett, to come forward. Again, the glass is another sign of age, so thanks. It's a pleasure to present Sergeant Chris Haskett to the board for presentation for his 20-year police exemplary service bar. In 2010, Sergeant Chris Haskett started his policing career with the Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service. Prior to being hired by us, he spent 5 years as a police constable with the London Police Service, deployed in their uniform division providing frontline policing and emergency response. On joining Strathroy-Caradoc, he continued in the Uniform Policing Division before moving into our Criminal Investigation Office in January 2013. During his tenure as a detective constable, he undertook several major cases as the primary investigator, developing his skills and abilities to handle complex investigations, specifically sexual assault or offenses against children, drug investigations, and intelligence files, all the while fostering a positive and collaborative team approach to each of his cases. It was also during this time he further enhanced his leadership skills by establishing himself as an effective team player and respected, experienced investigator, able to coach and mentor junior members through challenging investigations. In January 2018, he was promoted to the rank of sergeant, taking command of a uniform platoon, furthering his leadership traits and performance management skills while supervising young members. Commencing in January 2023, he transferred to the Communications Bureau, overseeing the 911 Center and the cadre of civilian members, and then in 2024 moved into a newly created role of Quality Assurance and Support Services, enhancing service excellence through daily reporting audits and community service engagements. Sergeant Haskett has returned to the Criminal Investigation Division, supervising a highly skilled and motivated team with carriage over the most serious and challenging cases. Throughout his time with SCPS, Sergeant Haskett has been a trusted and respected member. As a police supervisor, he has continually provided the senior leadership team support as we seek, undertake, and drive operational improvements that enhance our service delivery. Chris grew up in the local region, and his family is interwoven throughout local history. I'll talk more about that after I present Acting Sergeant Pinkham. He has a pedigree of participating in high-level sporting competition and has remained active in cultivating strong and positive relationships with youth through sports. Throughout his policing career, his wife Lindsay and their 3 children have supported him. Chris portrays the police service in a positive light outside of his official duties, and his commitment to professionalism and dedication to policing excellence have helped shape organizational culture, leading our members to grow professionally. Congratulations, Chris, on behalf of the Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service Board, Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service, and our community. This time I'll ask Acting Sergeant Joel Pinkham to please come forward.
Head in the chandelier.
Okay.
Almost.
So it's a pleasure to present Acting Sergeant Joel Pinkham to the board for presentation for his 20-year police exemplary service bar. In 2005, Acting Sergeant Joel Pinkham started his policing career with the Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service, hired as a brand new recruit officer, similar to our 4 members here. He had previously graduated from Westerville College and had come highly recommended to Strathroy-Caradoc Police Service by staff at the college. Joel was following his brother, Jeffrey Pinkham, into the policing profession. Jeff passed away in July of 2004 as a result of an automobile accident. And I'm absolutely sure he is smiling down on his twin brother and is extremely proud of who you are as a father, a husband, a brother, and an excellent police officer. Acting Sergeant Pinkham has spent a majority of his policing career deployed in our uniform division, providing exceptional service as a frontline officer responding to crime calls, social disorder complaints, and emergency calls for service. He has a strong propensity for impaired driving and motor vehicle collision cases and has supported our Breath Tech program in a variety of functions, including maintenance of equipment, software, and training. He recently completed his tenure as one of our road safety members, permanently assigned to traffic enforcement to implement the service's road safety program as part of our strategic plan. He excelled in this role as an excellent ambassador for Strathroy-Caradoc Police, attending regional enforcement events and training seminars. Acting Sergeant Pinkham is currently assigned to a uniform division, providing and offering guidance, coaching, and mentoring through positive and collaborative leadership. He is extremely adaptable, demonstrates on a daily basis compassion to community members and colleagues, and is a highly respected member of the service. Acting Sergeant Pinkham is the current Vice President of the Strathroy-Caradoc Police Association. He is a true professional with a high policing acumen, serving his members and our organization through a balanced lens of fairness and equity. Joel grew up in the local area along with his family and has been very involved in athletics, most notably as an elite level cornhole participant, along with other interests including basketball and golf. I'm just going to pause here for a minute because I'm a history buff. I'm going to go off script here for a second. When I was writing these yesterday and preparing them, I was not lost on the fact that Chris Haskett and Joel Pinkham come from in and around the Granton, Lucan area. Anyone who has ever read the Donnelly books knows the importance of the Haskett and the Pinkhams in that story. I think it's rather unique that we're celebrating both today and that local tie back to history. To continue, throughout his policing career, his wife Carrie and their 2 children have supported Joel. And he portrays the police service also in a positive light outside of his official duties and his commitment to professionalism and dedication to policing excellence that have also helped shape our organizational culture and again led our members to grow professionally. Congratulations, Joel, on behalf of the board, the service, and our community. So at this time, what I'll maybe do is ask our 4 recruits and Joel and Chris maybe just to come back forward and we'll get a picture with the 6 of you. And again, anyone in the audience, more than welcome to step forward and...
We'll stand in front.
Stand at the back.
Well, we'll get them first.
And then. Yeah, I'm like. Perfect. Does anybody else want any other photo? Yeah, family want to come up and take one?
So I think at the discretion of the chair, I believe we're going to probably move into
15-minute recess.
15-minute recess. I will invite family members to come up. We can do photographs, or we can move to maybe the room next door. I know that the municipal banner is there. Maybe that might be an actual location. Again, we can get photos with anyone you want to get photos with. So we'll maybe just move next door to do that for.
Okay.
15-minute recess. Move seconded.
Yeah. And we are back in session. So moving on, got a review of monthly police service reports. I'll pass it on to the chief to make any comments, and we'll open it up for questions before we vote them in for information. Chief?
Thanks again, Chair. I have nothing really specific to address or talk about in the reports, and I'll certainly just take some questions if anyone from the board wishes to pose any.
Perfect, thank you. Any questions from the two members that are here? Yeah, Member Han, go ahead.
I did have a few questions, so I'm trying to just quick pull up the reports. How about we go to the uniform crime report? Let me just get that for a minute. Oh, sorry. The uniform crime report. And I was really pleased. My first comment was going to be I was really pleased to see some of the property claims going down by over 50%. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up the report. Oh yeah. So the property claims going down by, and especially the theft, the auto theft, and I think as more, I guess, senior board members who've been on the board for a while, the auto theft was such a focal point in 2021, 22, and now to see that it's down to 12, I think that is, like year to date, that is terrific. But overall, the property crimes are down. But I wanted to ask maybe the police chief. I know there had been an intentional focus on auto theft because it was prevalent throughout not only Ontario, but throughout Canada. Now, would this decline be very similar in some of the other provinces now, since there's been more focus at the ports and things of that nature?
So through the chair to Member Han, it's a great question, and I'm going to start in a different area and then address I think your follow-up question there. So the reduction in the incidents, whether they're in the motor vehicle collisions, the person crimes, or the property-related crimes, you'll see over that course of the 4-year window, there's been really a decline in almost every year since 2022. And that corresponds as well over on our charge sheet, like the police activity sheet, where it shows the amount of charges that we are laying. So in some ways, the reduction in charges, we're monitoring that and wanting to ensure that we are remaining active and focused. But we're also very happy, obviously, to see the number of incidents, as you highlighted, particularly related to property crimes, dropping. And I'll say that a lot of that has to do with certainly a focus of our frontline, our uniform members, who have been very diligent, very dedicated to ensuring that they are very present and providing that visual deterrence from crimes occurring. Your question specifically to, does this trend, this declining trend, match up to what is happening provincially or nationally? I'll start by saying I think our auto theft issue here locally or regionally differs somewhat from what is happening in the GTA, where that target audience, I'll refer to it as more luxury, high-end vehicles that are being targeted and stolen, sometimes as a robbery, almost like pulling an owner from a vehicle. Our target type vehicle here is a different type of vehicle. It's not really one that's slated to end up in a shipping container and sent overseas. They're more apt to be stolen for the parts of the vehicle. Particularly, there was a real focus on older style pickup trucks that had some value in regards to certain elements to the vehicles, catalytic converters, tires, electronics and such. So again, the work of our staff, but also our local partners who we have certainly teamed up with, because auto theft incidents aren't just happening in one particular jurisdiction. It really is a regional, provincial, or national issue. And so I have to say, the cooperation and the level of work that's going on with our regional partners to stay informed and to have proactive approaches to deal with chronic offenders has been, I think the numbers have shown that strategy has been very effective.
And I had another question in regards to the CID report. And I wanted to, first of all, make a comment, and I know that just the other day, the focus had been on the the media release about the arson case, and I just wanted to compliment the police services staff. I know that many people were involved in this investigation, and I think for the community, your transparency with keeping the community informed has been very good. The public likes to know that safety, and you mentioned this in your the last comment, ensuring community safety, but also that there's the public have that expectation, and just as had been mentioned in the media release, of holding individuals accountable for criminal activity. And I think that bodes well for some of the other cases that are still being investigated, and just very appreciative of the service that the police has been taking, not only in regards to this arson case, but other arson cases, but some of the CID reports that you are bringing forward that, will take a while to complete, but that there's concerted effort to keep the public informed.
So through the chair to Member Hahn, I certainly appreciate that feedback, and I know that our members, a lot of them do sort of watch or review the police service board meetings, and I know that those comments will mean a lot to them and how they are engaged and providing the information so that we are, again, transparent and timely in our messaging back to the community.
My next comment is in regards to 6.5, the budget update. And I wanted to, and I was very pleased to see the positive results at the end of the year. And I appreciate there's still some final expenses that may be accrued and have to be brought forward. My question actually related to the WSIB columns, and I know that there were no amounts put in those columns. However, I recall that there was a different way of reporting them. And so maybe this goes to the HR Director, Doug Payne. Can you advise again, how is that being brought forward in the final results of 2025? Have they been captured?
Thank you, Member Hahn. Through the chair to Member Hahn, I might defer this to put my partner here on the spot. Just on the WCB reconciliation and whatever. So I'll pass it off to William to give a response.
Thank you. Yeah, so, excuse me. The WCB premiums that we pay are captured in these reports. They'd be captured under the payroll benefits line.
That's good, because the reason I was asking, I thought that was how it was being captured now, because there are, for instance, under uniform salary expenses, there was $75,000 in the budget for, WSIB and the near surcharge, and I know that program has changed. So it's being captured now under the benefits. And that's, so I am assuming, and that's likely why we see a bit of an increase over the 100% in both the uniform and the civilian salaries. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for, clarity. Perfect.
If I may, just to top that up, certainly in the 2026 operating budget that was presented and approved by the board, there has been some adjustments in regards to those previous GL lines, the WSIB and the WSIB surcharge. And we have reduced those down and taken those out of the budgets.
I recall that, but I wanted to confirm that. It was, I think, in the budget, there was about 100,000 that was being allocated, and I wondered if that would affect it be an adjustment from the final figures, but if they have already been incorporated in that 356 operating surplus is pretty stable, I think that's terrific.
Thank you. Member Brennan, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I have a question. It has to do with the Uniform Crime Reporting Violations Report in the traffic section near the top, the second line, citizen complaints. And I note here that it has gone from 64 citizen complaints in 2022 to 107 in 2025. And I was just wondering if it would be possible for the chief or the deputy chief to expand upon this and what the nature of these complaints are, if they're from just one or two people phoning in many times, or if there are many people phoning in individually at about discrete events in the community regarding traffic. I know everybody's got a phone nowadays. Is it people just saying like, I'm standing here and a guy just went through a stop sign here, can you send somebody over? I know we want to work with the community. I'm just wondering, with the citizen complaints line, there's probably a lot of data there, and I'm just wondering, how do we respond to these complaints? What kind of complaints are they? And does it help with enforcement when people phone in their complaints? So that's either to the chief or the deputy chief.
So another great question. So through the chair to Member Brennan, I think that the linkage with the increased number of complaints that we are capturing is tied to, I think, our expansion of media relations. The positive growing relationship that Constable Lockwood, through her more consistent engagement of reaching out to the community, both online but at in-person meetings, is strengthening that level of trust, which I think is now creating more of a comfort for people to pick up the phone, type a message, or express concerns at these in-person meetings, which we are then being more diligent to capture, is driving where we are seeing that increase in citizen complaints. I don't have the data to extract to say if it's a small number of people who are making repetitive calls. I would sort of lean towards it's probably the opposite. It's probably more people who are hearing our messaging about, we want to hear from you. We want to know even about small issues, because small issues, as we all know, can sometimes grow into bigger, more frustrating issues. So I would say that we're leaning that way, that it's that positive, that building relationships that has created more trust in reporting things, that action will be taken.
So just to follow up then, the message to the community is that the lines are open and responsible citizens making legitimate complaints. There is an ear at the police headquarters that will listen to them, and this will help us better determine how to, where to assign constables in the community to deal with traffic events. Is that correct?
Again, through the chair to Member Brennan, that's exactly correct. And it's not just specific or related to, say, traffic safety concerns. Any issue, whether you are, say, the victim of a property-related crime or see something suspicious, we want to hear from you because that reporting may be just a moment of time for a community member, but there may be 5 or 6 or 7 other community members who are seeing and experiencing the same thing. And if we are not hearing from one or all 6 or 7, we're losing perspective of potential issues that are going on in our community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, if there's no other comments or questions for number 7, we can have a mover and a seconder to receive those reports for information. Moved by Member Brennan, seconded by Member Hahn. All in favor? Perfect. Number 8, staff reports. Did the chief or deputy chief have any comments they wanted to make before we accept those for info?
I don't have any particular comments on them. If there's questions, I'm open to those.
you have any questions or comments for the chief or deputy chief for the staff reports, for the staffing updates? Nope. Okay, we'll receive them for information though. Do we have a mover and a seconder to receive 8.1, 8.2 for info? Moved by member Brennan, seconded by member Hahn. All in favor? Perfect. All right. Moving right along, announcements and inquiries by members. I'll start off. I'll just give an update. I believe on January 13th, the chief and I presented the budget, 2026 budget, to municipal council for their review. I think it was pretty well received. There were some good questions about it, just a little bit of a deeper dive, but all in all, I think it went pretty well. So the time will tell that if anything gets changed or added. That's about it for me. Does anybody remember, Brendan? Announcements, questions? Member Hahn?
Was it approved at that meeting?
So, no, it was just presented for their information. I've had that question before. Due to the new strong mayor powers, I believe budgets aren't necessarily voted in anymore. There's a 30-day waiting period to see if anything gets vetoed or added in. And if there isn't, then the budget is assumed. Did I word that properly?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So there was no vote on the actual budget, but there were some good questions about it, which were answered, and it was received for information, which included the capital expense for the new addition.
I wanted to talk about this a little bit further and maybe ask Ron Leclerc if he might be able to comment on that. I know we received that circular dated January 12th about the head of council strong mayor budget powers do not include the power to limit police service board budget increases or veto estimates submitted by police service boards. And I know that there was a question, and I think I just listened briefly to the council meeting in regards to the police budget. And I know that Mayor Grantham brought forward, can you veto capital budgets? And he wasn't sure on that answer. And I thought maybe Ron, you could explain that. And why I'm asking that too is I know the Sarnia mayor, but this was in December before this came out, this January 12th circular, vetoed the expansion or the whole, I guess it was the whole proposal for their relocation of their police headquarters, and that definitely was capital, and he vetoed that. And then the next process was that the council would vote on it, and if it was 2/3 majority, then it overruled that veto. But I'm trying to understand, and I thought maybe Ron could explain, can capital budgets be vetoed? Police capital budgets?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead, we can hear you.
Okay, it's a very good question. I know in the circumstances of Sarnia, it was a line item related to some preparation work, an amount of $1 million, I believe, to do some preparatory work in terms of moving towards a new facility. So I don't know if that line was actually in capital or not. I will have to make some inquiries because this is all new territory for us, right? Especially with the new act. Traditionally, the mayor and council couldn't go into line items, but it seems that with this withdrawal mayor powers, it seems that they can. Specific to your question about capital, let me make an inquiry and I will get back to you.
Thank you, Ron. I think it's important as we're going into our expansion of our headquarters to know those answers. And I sure appreciate operationally, I understand that aspect, but it was the capital I was wondering about. Thank you.
Okay, I will get back to you.
Thanks, Ron. Chief Campbell had a comment.
Thanks, Chair, and certainly the advice, the perspective that Ron has provided is helpful. If I could just, I just want to provide a little bit of extra clarity, hopefully, for the board and for those listening online. So certainly at our December board meeting, we presented an operating and a capital that had not yet included the building annex piece. And so that budget was obviously approved at the December meeting. The January 8th meeting, the special meeting, was intended to bring forward current costing information, and at that point, another resolution was brought forward, and so that annex was approved at the board at that time. So that meant that the two then joined and made up the approved 2026 operating and capital budget as approved by this board for the police service. The correspondence that came out on January 12th from the Solicitor General and I believe the Ministry of Housing went to all municipalities in the province. It wasn't just directed to Strathroy-Caradoc. I was aware that there was an interest from the Solicitor General's ministry to share that information as a result of a meeting in late December that I had with the Solicitor General's staff, where budgeting for police organizations across the province was a topic of discussion, and the ministry wanted to ensure that there was clarity and transparency on what powers the strong mayor power has. So again, under Section 50 of the Community Safety Policing Act, the board does take the recommendations of the police organization and approves a budget, both operating and capital. And I think that we are all aligned to understand that council, including the head of council, the mayor, doesn't have the ability to pull out specific line items. They have the ability to make a recommendation or advise the board that they want to see a reduction of a certain percentage. At the budget presentation on January the 13th, it was really just a information sharing about what has been approved by the board. And there was some discussions and I think further clarity to understand that the annex now was part of the approved budget piece. There has been a recent update to the proposed budget for the municipality that was released, and I'm going to sort of lean into Jennifer here. I think it was released yesterday or the day before, that has an update that very clearly identifies that the building annex has been added into the 2026 budget process at this point. If I can comment on the Sarnia example or issue, my read of that was that the board in Sarnia approved a certain budget, including operating and capital. That budget, I think, was then approved at council. It was at that point, I believe, the mayor of Sarnia exercised his strong mayor powers and vetoed a certain element of that approved budget, which I think, if my understanding is correct, can get returned into the budget if 2/3 of their council agrees to put it back in, which I believe did not occur. I don't believe that support was there, and so the mayor's veto in that case stood that test and was removed from their budget. If hopefully, I think that's the interpretation I had and understanding I had in reading that particular article and that example of what happened in that jurisdiction.
Yes, thank you.
Perfect, thanks, Chief. Okay, that's it for number 9. We're gonna move in camera. Sorry, number 1, go ahead.
Are we still under announcements and inquiries by members? Okay, I had one further one, and it was in regards to the circular that came out about legislative and regulatory changes effective January 1st. And it talked about, some of the employment recruitment, and it brought forward why this matters for police boards, but then there was also a comment under each of those 4 headings about what boards may wish to do. So in our governance aspect of being a board member, I was wondering if this board would think it would be good for next month maybe to review that legislative and regulatory changes, and maybe ask the deputy chief and the chief to comment on those, what boards may wish to do. And I think that would help us as board members understand that those changes have already been implemented or are part of their normal process. For instance, in this one it says here, greater emphasis and consistency and fairness throughout the hiring process, and they may come back and say, yes, our panel has an interview template we use for consistency. I would just like to know that those elements are in place. So if we could maybe have it as an agenda item for next month.
Sure, just for an update on recruitment strategies and processes they go through, and as long.
All 4 of the items. It also talked about public safety and enforcement updates. So all of those 4 items, would that be fair? Just a quick verbal or even a written report?
I can make sure that we've shared those emails with you too, if you guys didn't get them.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure of what Member Hahn is referring to. If it's, are those correspondences that have just come to the board, or are they in all chiefs?
I think they're from the OAPSB, so they've just been to board members.
Oh, sorry about
But
that.
no problem, I can go back and make sure that I share them with both of you.
Yeah, again, just, we'd be willing to take a review of what those recommendations and provide comments or a report back to the board to ensure that they have an understanding of what we are and what adherence we are trying to achieve to ensure that we're compliant to the act.
Perfect, thanks, Chief. Any other inquiries, Member Hahn, or?
No.
No, okay, perfect. Okay, now we'll move on to number 10. Board may move into closed session to discuss the following. One item in accordance with the municipality's procedure bylaw to approve in-camera meeting minutes. And one item pursuant to section 44 sub 2B of the CSPA regarding labor relations or employee negotiations. We have a mover and a seconder to move in camera. Moved by Member Hahn, second by Member Brennan. All in favor? Okay, we'll be right back. we are back, reporting our closed session. Closed session adjourned at 11:21. Board met in closed session to consider matters. Is it permitted to do so under the CSPA and listed on the agenda? The following items were considered during that closed session. One item in accordance with the municipality's procedure bylaw to approve in-camera meeting minutes of December 16th, 2025. Those meeting minutes were approved. And one item pursuant to section 44 sub 2D of the CSPA as amended regarding labor relations and employee negotiations. There's a labor relations update. The board received a verbal report and direction was given to staff. The motion now is that the direction given in closed session be approved. Do we have a mover and a seconder for that? Moved by member Brennan, seconded by member Hahn. All in favor? Perfect. So we're back to open. And that is about it. I believe our next item, there's scheduled meetings. So next meeting is Tuesday, February 17th at 10 a.m., Tuesday, March 17th, and then Tuesday, April 21st, all at 10 a.m. And then recommendation that the January... Yep, member Hahn, go ahead.
A question or a comment in regards to the schedule of meetings, and especially with that March 17th coming up. I believe it's in spring break, but would we as board, when we receive the e-scribe package, for each meeting have, will you be attending that meeting so that we as board can see that, you know, we're very close? I think as a comment to what you had brought forward, Matt, about saying right away, when we receive those e-scribe meetings, can we have a, you know, are you able to attend the meeting? Hybrid, or I should say, in person or through, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I alluded to in that email that I sent, if anybody can, like, at least 5 business days before the meeting, even if you put an email out to the board and include Jen and Melissa, just saying if you're gonna be in attendance or not, because I don't think through eScribe you were able to.
Like when you put out the notice, please find attached the eScribe meeting minutes.
So that comes from a no reply email, so then you would still have to email the board to say whether you're gonna attend or not. So if
Okay.
I guess if you're gonna receive that eScribe notification, it'll just prompt you to send an email out to the board. And I mean, you can do it as, I'm always gonna come unless otherwise noted.
Oh,
So
that would be good.
you can just email if you're going to attend virtually or if you're going to be absent. If you're going
Perfect.
to attend in person, then there's no need to
Perfect.
say anything.
There was one other question. I know that we are receiving the packages to our personal emails, and there was IT was in the process of updating their sites and whatever. Is there a time when we're going to be transferring again to that other site versus our personal ones?
As far as I know, I haven't heard any updates. And it's due to the separation of our Microsoft 365. So each member does have a Strathroy-Caradoc email, and everything is being transferred automatically to your personal email. And it's because of security and access, because of our new systems. So that's still under works, but I haven't heard any updates as of yet.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, we'll just need a mover and a seconder to adjourn at 11:26. Moved by member Brennan, second by member Hahn. All in favor? Fantastic. Thanks, everyone. See you next February. Thanks, Ron.